Okay, I see that they're starting to form their little pod thing, but are they supposed to be this small, y'all? Oh my gosh. Hey everyone. So, yeah, I'm just out here in the garden. It's so beautiful out. I always enjoy coming out here just before the sun comes up because it's so beautiful and just to listen to the birds and to be in nature. It's my happy place. But I was just thinking that June is coming up. Y'all, we are halfway into the year. Like, where did the time go? It just seems time flies quicker the older that I get. But since we are approaching June, I thought today would be the perfect day to make a video on the plants that you can start in June. Now, we are only going to talk about the plants that I'm growing. I'm sure there are many others, but yeah, we're only going to keep it to the ones that are in my garden. And I promise I have a good variety for you all. So yeah, let's get right into the video. The first one that you can grow in June is okra. Yeah, June is still a good month to start your okra from seeds because they are heat loving and they thrive in summer temperatures. I have a total of 5 okra plants, y'all. 5. This one right here, its sibling in the back, and this one. I started them 3 months ago. 3 months ago, and I don't like the way they're looking. They're very underdeveloped. They should be way further along considering how old they are. You can see that they're starting to form, I think these are pods. So you can see it in this one. And I believe this is one as well. So they are starting to form like their little pods and stuff, but they're supposed to be way bigger than that. So that's the reason why I had started these two. I started them about a month ago because I didn't know what these were doing. And I want to have okra this season. So you can still start them from seeds. They do very well in summer. Pray for my okra, y'all, because I don't know what's going on with them. It's supposed to be bigger than this. Now, the next plant that you can grow is cucumbers. The thing with cucumbers is that they germinate really fast, y'all. Like, I'm talking about 3 days, and they can fully mature in just 50 to 70 days. If you want to plant cucumbers and you haven't started your seedlings yet, you're not late because they germinate fast and you will get a harvest in no time. So start your cucumbers now. Now, the next plant that you can start in June is peppers. Y'all don't come for my peppers, okay? So I have a total of 4 pepper plants. I have 2 sweet bell peppers and 2 jalapeno peppers. Now, these are the sweet bell peppers, and as you can see, I don't know what's going on with them. Like, I don't know if it's the heat that is just having a field day with them. I noticed that a lot of their flowers, like when they start to flower, it would just fall. You can see, we have some on the ground right now. Yeah, they're not able to hold their flowers. So if you guys have any tips on why that is, let me know in the comments because look at the leaves. This is the other one. Now the other one did start to flower, but they're gone. They're all gone. They all dropped. So I don't know if it's going to bear any fruits. Look at that. You see how they're just falling. They're just falling on the ground, y'all. So if you want to start peppers, you can start transplants in June. I wouldn't recommend you to start them from seed, but I guess it depends on your zone, right? My jalapeno peppers, on the other hand, they're doing better. I have some jalapeno peppers that have already formed. They're looking much better than the sweet bell peppers. Now, the next plant that you can start in June is going to be zucchini. This is the bed that I'm going to be planting them in, and this is the variety. This is the variety that I am going to be growing. It's called the dark green. I've never grown zucchini before. It's my first time, And they are known for being one of the easiest, most productive summer vegetables. It loves the heat and it grows quickly from seed. So I have some zucchini seeds that I soaked overnight, okay? And I'm going to be planting them in this container bed today. So I'm allowing them to soak for 24 hours because it does help them to germinate quick. So zucchini would be next on the list. Next on the list would be eggplants. It's going to be my first time growing eggplant as well. I am going to be growing the eggplants in this container and also this back container. I had cabbages that were in these containers before. So I harvested them yesterday and just cleaned out the bed. I still need to clean out these two other beds, just remove the old roots, give them, a little bit of fresh potting soil and compost. And then I'm going to be dropping my eggplant seeds. So planting eggplant in June gives it ideal growing conditions to thrive in. So if you have not started your eggplants, now would be the best time to do that. Next on the list would have to be bush beans. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this one. This is one of my bush bean plant, y'all. Okay, I see that they're starting to form their little pod thing, but are they supposed to be this small, y'all? Oh my gosh. Now, this bush bean is right dab in the middle of four vigorous, greedy cucumber plants. So it is suffering, y'all. It is suffering. I gave it some fish emulsion about a week ago or a week and a half ago, and it doesn't seem to be helping at all. So, yeah, this is how one of my bush bean plants are looking. This is how the other one is looking. And this one is, of course, alongside my other two cucumber seedlings. And I hope it does well and it doesn't look like its sibling. Bush beans are fast growers. They don't need trellises. So if you plant them now in June, you'll harvest in as little as 50 to 60 days. So if I don't get a harvest from this one, I'm hoping to get from this one. And this one, I planted that on March 30th. It's approaching 2 months. Now, the next plant that you can start in June is tomatoes. Yes, tomatoes. But it's going to have to be the early maturing types, like the large cherry tomatoes. So I have a total of 6 tomatoes, but I'm starting 2 more large cherry tomatoes because they are fast growers so that I can get a harvest before my first frost. I'm in zone 8A. My first frost is going to be mid-November. So I have a total of 6 tomato plants, 3 different varieties. I have 2 varieties that are just going to fruit all at once. I believe they're called determinate. If it's determinate, then it's going to produce the fruit all at once. And then that's pretty much what you get. And then if it's the indeterminate kind, then it produces fruit all season. I always get confused between the two. I have Roma tomatoes over here that are determinate varieties. So once they bear all their fruits, I am going to be removing them from the grow bags, once they start producing. And the ones that I'm starting indoors, I'm going to plant them in one of their places, okay? Whichever one stops fruiting, stop producing. So that way I can get a continuous yield of tomatoes. Again, you can start tomatoes in June. I know it may seem very late, but there are variety types that matures early. So start them now. So the next plant that you can start in June is Malabar spinach, y'all. Yes, spinach. You can grow spinach in the summer months. Now, I've never been successful at growing spinach. I've attempted to grow spinach twice from seed, have not been successful yet, but I am determined. That is my goal, to grow all of my vegetables eventually from seed. I don't want to buy transplants. I just want to grow everything from seed. So we're going to see how this do. They're a tropical plant. So they're heat loving and actually thrives better in the summer months. And they're also vining. So if you've never grown Malabar spinach, I would say go for it. I just learned about them the other day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I can grow spinach in summer. The best way to get them to germinate quicker is to either start them indoors, or if you're going to direct sow them in the soil, you can soak them for 24 hours, which is what I did. So I am going to be planting them today in the garden, and they need a lot of room because they can grow very tall. If you are growing in containers, make sure that the container is big enough. I'm going to be planting 2 plants in a 15-gallon grow bag. So that is plenty of room for them to grow into vine. You're also going to need to have a trellis. So yeah, get yourself some spinach. Let me show you the container or the grow bag that I'm going to grow it in. So this is going to be the grow bag. I am going to be preparing it because I don't think this has any nutrients. It has 2 marigolds in this grow bag. I might end up removing one of the marigolds because I don't want it to be too crowded in there. But yeah, I'm going to be adding some fresh compost on top of this, mixed with perlite and also some nutrients before I drop my seeds that were soaked. The next plant that you can start in June is melons, y'all. It's gonna be my first time growing melons. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So this is the sugar baby melon, and I started that on May 18th, and today is the 23rd. So this is how long it took for it to sprout. I'm only gonna be growing 2 plants, but I planted multiple seeds in case they don't germinate. As you can see, these 2 germinated, but this one hasn't yet. So we may just end up with these 2 plants. Melons are heat-loving fruits that flourish when they're planted in warm soil, and they need a lot of space and sun. So if you want, some fruits, melons are great plants to plant in June. The next one would be organic potatoes. So I have planted 5 organic potatoes in 2 grow bags. So 3 in this one and then 2 in the other one. Now, with the potatoes, you have to do it with caution. They need about 70 to 100 days to mature. So if you're going to plant them and you are in my zone, which is zone 8A, now would be the time. This month actually would be the latest month to drop your potatoes. So we should have enough growing days for those guys. Y'all, this is my first time growing potatoes. I don't know what to expect. A couple videos back, I showed you how I amended the soil, the variety types that I'm growing, and all that. So check out, I believe it's 2 videos ago. So check that out to find out how I planted those. And then the last on my list is sweet potatoes, y'all. This is going to be the container that I'm going to be growing my sweet potatoes in. So June is perfect month for planting the sweet potato slips. Okay, so you should already have your slips forming. I do have some slips that are growing indoors, so I'm just waiting for them to root. I will begin planting some slips in this container in about a week or so. It takes about a couple of weeks for the roots to form once you add them to the water. So that's what I'm waiting on right now. But June is perfect month for planting sweet potato slips. They need warm soil. This month will give them enough time to develop big sweet tubers before the fall. I haven't really added any nutrients to the soil. This is just a mixture of compost and organic potting mix. So when I plant the slips, or just before I plant the slips, I will be adding some nutrients. Hopefully, I get sweet potatoes this season. I'm so excited, y'all. All right, that concludes today's videos. Again, I'm sure there's plenty more crops that you can plant. But yeah, this is a good start for you all. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out my previous videos, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.